Hi guys, welcome back. I thought we would store my dahlia tubers today ready for winter. Hope you can hear me over the robin. We store them because they are tender herbaceous plants. The RHS says tender plants can be cut back, lifted and stored in a dormant state or protected with a cover of organic matter known as mulch. If you feel you're in a milder part of the UK and you're not worried about waterlogged soil, then you can leave them in the ground. You would wait for the first frost to blacken the leaves and then cut the stems down and mulch them. We usually do this between September and November in the UK. When we do this, we don't wrap them too tightly to ensure they can still have air around them. I have found a manner of things that people use. We have paper, newspaper, shredded paper, wood shavings, vermiculite. A lady actually uses damp vermiculite because she's in a very, very dry climate. However, in the UK we don't have that problem, so we need to ensure that they don't get too humid and start rotting. People also use sand, compost, and people wrap them in brown paper bags, newspaper, hessian, anything that's going to not make them in an airtight, stale, humid environment. You want ventilation, you want the cold air to be able to circulate around them. We need to do this after the first frost has blackened their leaves because it signals to the tuber that it's time to stop growing and go dormant, and that's really important. So we don't pack them too tightly to ensure good ventilation. I think I'm going to pierce some holes in the box as well because we want well ventilated airflow. Check them every few weeks. Some people do it every month just to ensure nobody has started rotting, and obviously if there are any problems with rotting then you'd need to bring them out so they don't affect the other ones. If any of them start shriveling, then you can either mist them lightly, which means they have dried too much. You can mist them lightly to plump them back up, or move the whole lot to a slightly more humid area. Right, so you will need something to store them in. I've read boxes or crates. Plastic crates are good. Packaging paper. Lots of wood shavings. I'm going to start with a thin layer of wood shavings at the bottom of my box, and then we can wrap each type of dahlia tuber and a label so that there is no confusion in the spring about who is who. I was looking around online for wood shavings, mainly on Amazon. I found all different sizes and deals and double dust extracted and all sorts. In the end we just went to Asda and I've got a few boxes of a few packs of the stuff from the pet section, just pet bedding. It's quite compacted. Right, turn you around so you can see. And to get this to a nice fine consistency, and then we'll start wrapping and labelling the dahlias. We have one of our dahlia cuttings, so it's either a pink or white cactus variety. It might on the camera look a tiny bit wet, but I don't think it is. It's just compost in really hard to reach areas. I've tried saying that lots more, it's just shaken off. Fluff the paper, that's it. Airy. Nice and airy. I think I'm going to put these in our garage because it's not too warm, it's well ventilated, it's frost free, and I can get them up off of the ground, which is what they need. I've got some Sam Hopkins. I'll put a picture up on the screen of what they look like. There's my man with his backpack on, going to work. feel fine. He's got a bit of a wound, but they're firm. They're all firm. I can't tell if things are feeling damp or cold. Something I read is that you only put one tuber in each wrapping, so we'll have to label them individually. So we'll put him in, and then should he start rotting, he hasn't affected the others. Excuse the drilling. And the robin. Hi Robin. Hi Robin. Oh, nearly forgot the label. Labeling. Okay, and in he goes. It's a bit rude, this one. We have Mr. Rude Man and his label. I think I might put the babies in there as well, to be honest. They look very dry. Right, Feline Yvonne. That's going to be one tuber, and there are 4 that have fallen off. I like to save them, if they do, in the hope that they've got eyes. In which case, free plants for next year. That possibly has some eyes. I don't know. I don't want to say that he doesn't. He might do. In there, guys, and your label. I like this brown wrap because it's quite airy. I don't know if you can see that. It's not airtight at all, which is what we need. Babylon Lilac. Babylon Lilac. We've got 2 of that, so I'll have to do another label. Okay. That's actually our first layer done. I'm trying to not have them touch each other. Give them some space. So I'm going to top that up with some more wood chip and then wood shavings, and then we can go again. Okay, that's our first layer. There we go, all tucked up. So next we have another Babylon Lilac. It's a very tall one. And your label, Babylon Lilac. Brown Sugar. Time of year, everything looks dark and damp and wet, even when it's not. Another parcel. Again, one of my cactus ones. Nice and dry. That's good. I think I might put all its babies in with it. That one's been nibbled. label. And we need to top up the layers again. They take up a lot more space than I realised, so we're going to go on to the second box and we'll just carry on. Tucked up, ready for winter. That's box 1 done. Box number 2. We line the base and then we wrap the dahlias. Cafe au lait royal. Cafe au lait royal. With your label. Okay, this is a cactus, pink or white. This is fairway spur. Definitely dividing him in the spring. Put his label in. Caitlin's Joy. Looks like a parsnip. This one. Okay. She's got a few babies, so I'm going to put them in as well. And her label. Lovely. So that's another row complete. And now we top up. I think the hard part for me about doing this is finding somewhere with moderate humidity. So you don't want dry air, because apparently they can dry up too much. So we're going for moderate humidity between 4 and 10 degrees Celsius. And darkness, which is really important because you don't want them growing again, wasting all their energy growing. Okay, and we fluff. Nice fresh layer. This was a big one, so we can't put anything big on that one. I might actually put these little tubers from a cactus variety on there. I forgot about them. Either pink or white. Plop them in. Yeah, so anything not labelled is always the same, just because I've got so many of them. Sam Hopkins. They have a nice rest and then hopefully spring back into action, ready to grow in the spring after their sleep. Nona Panza. His babies and his label. I had a maybe pile for some of the ones that I wasn't sure about their condition and if they could be stored. I'm pretty sure that looks like leafy gall to me, all of this cluster, which is a shame because that was one of my favourites, Cafe au lait royal. So into the bin with you, and I've just touched it with this glove. Such a shame when that happens. Maybe we can do an experiment next year on which works best, lifting and storing or leaving in the ground. Cafe au lait royal. Oh, and label, sorry. Labyrinth two-tone. Snap you up. And we've got 4 big white ones in here. I know they're white because I labelled these for once. So well done past me, thank you. Presently appreciates that. I think I need another box. Box number 3 coming up. So before I get a new box, I've just remembered I need to top up these, so I'm going to do that and then we'll start the new box. That's box number 2 all topped up. Box number 3. Can't believe we've got that many. So I'm sure you know the drill by now. Bottom layer, wrap the dahlias individually, and then a layer of wood chips in between, wood shavings in between them. I might pierce the boxes as well, just for added ventilation, which in hindsight I should have done before I packaged them, but I'm not undoing everything I've just done. Why is everything harder when you're being filmed? White cactus variety. I didn't trim them down. All the instructions I read had different measurements, usually 1 inch or 2 inches, which is 5 centimetres. All the rest I've trimmed right down to the base, the crown. They're all solid and dry, so I'm not going to worry. That's a 2. I remember him. Nice and dry. Trying to make sure they're not touching each other as well. Now I've got a big one. You're huge. It's going to take a lot of paper. Label. Doesn't happen very often. There he is. And you're not meant to store them when they're damaged. That looks like my fork went into it. Do I do it? It's got so many eyes. So many eyes on there. All up around the neck. To be fair, the damaged bit is dry. I'm going to try it. I'm going to keep him in with the other big one. We need to get done because it's getting dark. I'm so happy we have finished packaging the dahlias for winter. I hope you found that useful. I'd love to hear any other tips that I didn't cover. Here they are. I'm just going to top them up. To reiterate, these are going in the dark, off of the floor, in a shed or a garage. Or I did read sheds can be quite humid places. We need to ensure there is moderate humidity, not too dry, not too wet. And we check them regularly to make sure that the conditions we have given them are making them happy. If you find any mould on them, then you know that where you've put them is too humid and you need to put them somewhere drier. If they look like they are shrivelling up and going a bit wrinkly, then you need to put them somewhere a bit more humid. So this is the size of box we're using from Kite Packaging, and I used 3 boxes, and in my 3 boxes I used 4 of these Smart Pet softwood shavings from Asda. So it was 3 of these boxes needed 4 of these packs. I've actually got 2 packs left, which is handy. I'm now going to package them up and put them in the garage for winter. One last thing is I've just pierced a couple of holes in the lid so that when they close, they've got some nice ventilation. Thanks for watching.